Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Twisted Sticks TV. This week we're coming to you from public land in Kansas, bringing you some action-packed turkey video. Alright, we are loaded up. The back is full. We're on our way right now to meet my dad and my teacher at Jack Stack. We're not getting food. We are actually picking up the camera from my dad. I had a camera overnight shipped here. That way it would be here for this weekend. I'm not really super sure how to even use this thing. It's an upgrade from our last camera, but seems legit. We're gonna pull up to Jack Stack and grab this camera, and hopefully I'll have time to play with it on the way down there and kind of figure out how we're supposed to use it. But I guess you'll be able to tell from the footage if I get it figured out or not.
Hello, Dad.
Did you get the stuff?
I got the goods, my dude. One of the 16 gigabyte is half the price. And I was getting our camera here. There's a big box.
Where's the quickest way to get to McDonald's from here?
Go back out the mall up here.
Priorities.
There goes the road that goes this way.
Yeah?
Go back under the highway. McDonald's is right there.
Like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Alright, bet.
But you got traffic and a bunch of stoplights.
Okay. We got the new Sony HXR NX100. It's what we'll be filming with this weekend. Battery's charging, then I'm going to try to mess with it a little bit. It's got good focus rings on it. It is going to bring you guys some awesome video of Devin putting a Black Eagle deep impact with a knockout lighted knock on it right through a gobbler. It is storming like crazy over there. Heavy rain coming down.
Getting some footage there now.
You just got lightning.
That was bright.
Look at that. That's crazy. Doing the time lapse.
I see that.
Alright, we are in the middle of a storm right now. Actually, I think we're on the edge, about to drive into the middle.
I don't know if you can even hear us right now. This is crazy. I can't hardly see the lines on the road.
It is crazy raining right now.
Get dumped on. That's good fun.
I guess we can flip the saying around and say we're not in Missouri anymore. It is now hailing. We are in a sleet mixed with rain mixed with hail.
It's all coming down right now. This is great. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of feeling like putting the sunroof down right now, rolling down the windows, and going live. This is great. Hey,
Hey, the hail stopped.
no, it hasn't. It's lightening up though. That's good. Yikes! Hey, there goes the hail.
Oh my gosh, that was so loud.
Well, we'll report the car damage when we get out of the car because that did not sound good.
Oh my goodness. So of course, our luck on the way down there, Stormzilla just decides it's gonna open up on us. I mean, we got rain, we got sleet, we got hail, everything beating the crap out of Devon's Suburban. But on the other side of the storm, sunny skies, and it was clear all the way to Kansas.
We are getting closer, my dude. Well, we're strolling into the campground here. It's a nice country out here. After we got camp set up, I got my bow out to make sure it was still sighted in. After a long trip, I figured it was a good idea to check my sights and make sure everything was still good to go. After I shot a little bit, we made a plan and figured we'd go scout a little bit for the evening.
The campground here and go straight west down this road here, and any of these places you can see there's about 1, 2 places where it crosses the road, and there's a lot of stuff along in here. My favorite place down here we call La Mancha, from the Man of La Mancha, because Braden was in the play when he shot his first turkey. Not a day after he was in the play, he came back out here. What that habitat looks like, here's north, so you typically drive down that road from the campground and you'll come by here and you'll be able to, usually you kind of look up along this edge, and I can help you where the boundaries are and stuff to get a feel for it.
Seeing anything?
I'm trying to get way out there. There's a big old ridge up there. Wait, there's something sitting in that tree. This is that big wooded area?
That's the big wooded area. So we'll go around and kind of show where the other parking lot is.
Well, we just caught up with another hunter that was out here. He wasn't hunting, he was just waiting on a ride. And he gave us a couple spots that he said that he thinks would be good to go scout. So it's getting pretty dark. I'd say we got about probably 30 minutes left. And hopefully we'll get after them and get some birds roosted, because I think if we can put them to bed tonight, we can get after them in the morning. So I think that's what we're gonna do.
I've got a spot picked out. We're gonna head down here. There's kind of a finger that'll taper off to the right side here. I got the camera. See some turkey or deer, we'll get some footage of that. And anyways, got a little bit of light left. We're gonna head down and see if we can find out where the roost is, or if we can hear any turkeys moving around.
Well, unfortunately our scouting trip resulted in nothing more than hearing a few coyotes howl and watching the river flow, but we were happy to get back to camp, get some food, and listen to the stories of Mr. Roberts' scouting trip as he'd found a couple groups of turkey and we were going to set up on them the next morning.
Well, it's been a pretty active morning. We had 3 deer come out. We saw 2 coyotes. They were trotting pretty quick, didn't get them on the camera. But I had a hen fly down right in front of us in the field about 80 yards out. And she just meandered around. I don't know, we saw her for probably 45 minutes. Down in the woods, probably a good 200 yards. It was just going crazy. We're assuming probably 3 male turkeys. Definitely one big gobbler. It sounded like 2 jakes, some younger turkey. And then there's a bunch of hens purring and clucking and yelping and just going ham down there. So pretty fun morning. Wish we would have saw more, but, you know, we're here for the weekend, so we'll see some more later.
Well, the morning hunt was a bust. We spent about 4 hours in the blind. Really saw a lot of activity, but unfortunately no turkey that we could shoot. It was fun watching a hen walk around, but obviously she wasn't legal, so we couldn't shoot her. But we had a plan B, so we headed back to camp, got a little nap in and got some breakfast. And Mr. Roberts cooked us a pretty tasty breakfast. We will now refer to him as the chef master, because it was absolutely good. And so anyways, we got a nap in, figured out our plan for the afternoon. We kind of scouted around and drove around a little bit, and we got sat down for the evening for a little bit more hunting.
Turkey hunting, chef master.
Yeah, cooking up some good stuff here, guys.
Alright, it is like 5:30 Saturday evening. We're out here just kind of driving around right now, trying to spot a group of birds that we think we might want to make a move on or set up on for the morning. So far, no luck. It's kind of just really bad conditions, so I think we're gonna go back to the spot we were this morning where we heard them gobbling like crazy and go into the woods, try to get closer to where they were roosting at. Hopefully they'll be there in the morning. We're probably gonna do that for too long because we want to get in there before they try to roost tonight. So hopefully we'll get after them in the morning, but so far it looks like this evening's gonna be a bust. There's another one. No, they went right down that tree line.
You got a problem?
What kind of turkey hunting snack is an avocado?
I got Pringles too.
That's an avocado.
Dang. Walking in, we spooked a group of turkey. And they're just now making it back. Sunsets in about 15 minutes, but they're just right up that way. Well, I don't even know what all we got video, but we parked the car, we walked in, we had all of our gear with us. We planned on setting the blind up there in the woods, kind of 50 yards inside of where we saw the birds this morning. And so we walked in and we ended up spooking them. We got within 75 yards of them and they spooked out of the field there. So we waited a little bit and then headed in towards the trees where we were going to set up the blind. And sure enough, there they were again. So jumped them again, and we were thinking, oh crap, spook them twice, probably not going to see them again. But we went ahead and got the blind set up and sat there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And sure enough, they came back, and they were just strutting around. And we had some of the Toms or Jakes kind of kicking each other around, fighting a little bit. Saw about 15 birds, so that was pretty cool. Anyways, they stayed 150 yards away from us and never got close enough to shoot until they flew up into the trees. They got 40 yards of us when they, 40 yards from us when they started roosting. So we had to be real careful getting out of there and just waited it out till dark and just kind of tiptoed all the way out of there. And I think we succeeded because we didn't hear anybody fly off or get too spooked when we zipped everything up and walked out. So
We left the blind in there. We left chairs in the blind. The camera tripod's ready for the camera just to put on it and go.
yep, it's already in the morning, so we're gonna jump in there early before it's light out.
It's gonna be like 25 degrees, but
And just as windy.
yeah,
The tent is gonna be awesome tonight.
I'll wait for a gust of wind. Yeah, this tent is just blowing all over the place.
I'm gonna go move the poles, because I think it stretches a little bit. I'll be back.
I'll tell you what, I can promise you one thing. This is the last time I let Devin talk me into sleeping in a tent with him. 25 degrees. It is so windy, I can feel everything blowing around me. Not a wink of sleep at night, mainly because we knew we were going to get after them in the morning. But we roosted those birds, knew we had a good setup, and in the AM, it's going down. All right, we just crossed the lake. We are turning right now onto the road. It is 25 degrees, I think.
Yeah, 28 it said. Feels
28.
like 15.
Feels like 15.
With like 25 mile per hour winds, it is not feels like 15. It is feels like negative. Oh my gosh, dude, it is cold. My hands are frozen.
As long as the turkey didn't decide to switch spots in the middle of the night, we are gonna go creeping in and get right back in their bedroom, and as soon as they wake up from their nap, hopefully we put them back down for another permanent nap. So we're gonna get down there and get after it and send a black eagle through a turkey.
So, I know what you're thinking. Noah's got you guys pumped up thinking we're going to go shoot some awesome turkey in the morning. And that was the plan. But the turkey thought otherwise. So, we sneak in there extra quiet. We get in there. They have no idea we are there. And we get set up, get our windows peeked open, decoys set out. Everything is perfect. And to our surprise, they decided they were going to fly down on the opposite side of the creek where they flew up from the evening before. So they're strutting around for a solid 2.5 hours, 150 yards from us. And I'm sitting there with my bow, arrows knocked. I'm ready to shoot. Alright, I've been practicing a lot, and I think I'm a pretty good shot with the bow. So I asked Noah very politely, you know, them birds are at 150 yards, but is there any way you would let me shoot? And he said no. So I'm sorry. I tried, guys, but he rejected it. And so I was excited about being the season opener for Twisted Sticks and shooting the first turkey for the season. But Noah shut that down. So better luck next time.
Seriously? Seriously. I'm sitting in a blind with Devin, and he is begging me to let him shoot one of these turkey at 150 yards. Nah, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, we headed back to camp. Unfortunately, we just couldn't seal the deal. Got back to camp, and the chef master was making breakfast, so we got us a little snack, and then we headed back out. We set up on several more groups of birds that day. The major one, we saw him in a field and tried to stalk him from behind a railroad track, so that was pretty interesting.
Hey, Devin. Where are we going? Stalk some birds. We're driving down the road. We saw on the public land out to the left there was probably 3 or 4 toms and some hens. They were just milling around in the far left corner of the field. And obviously there's no way to get to them without driving down a little further. We've actually got a train track right here. This is going to act as a natural barrier. We'll be able to walk up, hopefully get right up on them, cross up over the top, and be right on top of them. So we're going to give it a shot. It'll be interesting with a bow.
Alright, so I apologize. It's on me. This is a camera I have not worked with at the time, had it for less than 48 hours. We snuck up on where we thought these turkey were at. We thought we were still about 75 yards from them. We're sitting there making a game plan, and it ended up, didn't have any time to get the camera on. They were actually about 15 yards away from us the whole time we were laying there trying to make a game plan after we'd snuck up. And they busted us, took off, so we were back on the hunt again. But we found another group of birds out in a field. We spotted them from the road. It's public land, and we're going after them.
So, I don't know why Noah keeps pumping you guys up. I'm sure you can already interpret what I'm going to say. We had another good game plan, or so we thought, and sure enough, they skunked us again.
So, you've heard us talk about it on the show before. This is it. This is real. This isn't set up. There aren't any guaranteed shots. And, you know, that's something just I wanted to point out. You know, we thank God every time we have the opportunity to go in the woods because it really is a true blessing. But something we've always wanted for this show is to be back to the true roots of hunting. Not to be in it for who shoots the biggest buck or who kills the biggest turkey, but for the hunt and for the experience and for getting out and enjoying God's creation. And we're so blessed to live in a place we can do that. And I really think a lot of shows and stuff have gotten away from it. And something that's very important to us. We want to get back to the roots of bringing the viewer the hunt, all the stuff that led up to it. It's so much more rewarding at the end of the day when you can sit down with that animal you've harvested after putting hours and hours and hours, and days like we spent in Kansas where, you know, things just didn't add up. We get so close, we get frustrated, but at the end of the day, those are the days that make the harvest that much sweeter, and that's why we do this. So I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys enjoy the video. It's some awesome footage. I mean, it was Kansas. I mean, what do you expect? 25 degrees in the nighttime, sleeping in a tent that we thought was going to blow over. I mean, we're out here. We're doing what we love to do. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So hope you guys will still tune into the videos because next week we're back in Missouri and some gobblers are going down, I think.